The Doom Timeline by Frixa Kaya, Chapter 2, The Visit. It's Rambo who gets him out. Actually, it's Rambo and Carl, but it's Rambo who does most of the work, breaking the code and allowing him to respawn outside of the prison. He discovers a few weeks later that Sam is dead, and that's why the prison wasn't as difficult to escape as it was meant to be. He didn't know at the time. How could he? The automatized potato system had helped so much, Sam didn't even go to see Dream. And since the crime obsidian is all over the place, stopping any attempt of him escaping he might have, there wasn't anything Sam had to worry about. The clock stopped coming way before any sign of chaos started to worry the citizens of the Dsmp. Tommy stopped coming right after the incident where he got stuck on Dream's cell for a week. Actually, everyone stopped going after that, even Bad. So there wasn't any way for Dream to learn about what had happened. It was only when it's only when Phil explains the whole thing that he understands the severity of the situation. And God, doesn't it hurt? He gave up everything, his friends, his family, his ideals and morals, everything to stop the egg from spreading, to make Tommy strong enough to stop that goddamn egg. And it failed. The resistance is small. Puffy, who looks at him with distrust and fury, feels that he was formal with him but clearly dislikes him. Rambo is terrified of him because of the voices. Techno, who is on neutral terms with him, and Carl, who is surprisingly is the only one that's friendly with him. The rest are either dead or corrupted. He knows. He saw the red vines controlling Sapnap and Eret and Tubbo and Jack and Nikki foolish purpled. He also saw George's body and Quacky's and Tommy's. Tommy had been alive when he got out of the prison. He knows because despite not being allowed anywhere near him, Technoblade won't stop whining about having to keep him alive. It that was until the raid where Tommy led the small resistance into the Eggpire fortress. Unfortunately, after the raid, Techno had nothing to whine about. Bad had made sure of it. It was a Monday when the resistance fell. It wasn't even morning when the explosion started to echo through the empty halls of the base they had set up. Puffy and Philza told them to run, mostly to Rambo. They didn't trust him to stay with the half-Enderman, so he was dragged to the fight. He saw as Techno ran away, taking as much stuff as he could. Rambo followed him just behind. Carl was nowhere to be seen, and it suddenly felt like that day on the underground vault, a server against him. If Puffy and Philza hadn't been there, he would have died quickly, submerged on a panic attack while the infected people did to him what they deemed fair. But Puffy and Philza were there, and so he had the strength to fight back, to defend himself and his team. For a moment, it reminded him of the Dream Team. It felt as if George, Puffy, covered his back and announced him of an incoming attack as Sapnap, Phil, did massive damage with its fire wings. For a moment, he felt that the old dream he had buried deep inside himself to force everyone to unionize against a common threat. For a moment, he felt like maybe he wasn't too far lost to be saved. And then the explosions happened. He doesn't understand why they do it, but the only thing that remains of his two companions is flesh and blood. He takes too long to recover, to wake up, but even if he hadn't fallen unconscious in the first place, the fact that the two people who fought by his side used their own bodies to shield him from the explosion. It was too late to save them from the moment the TNT went off. Techno finds him. The Piglin hybrid has a broken arm, but he's okay and safe. He's also furious. Fears that Phil is dead. Fears that he gave up his life for Dream. And at the end of that same day, only him, Rambo, and Carl were still together. Once he got far away from George and Sapnap, he started to walk. There wasn't anywhere he wanted to go. Yes, he had a lot of things to do, but not everything had to be done at the moment. He had an entire week to do whatever he had to prepare on the mainland before parting ways and starting the mission to destroy the egg. Or, like Carl liked to call it, the omelet mission. For starters, he had to bring Tech no sooner because his strength was a great ally. He also misses him as a friend, a partner. But after the way the other hybrid looked at him, maybe it's for the better that he refers to the piglin as an ally at best. He had to control Badlands too. Maybe that would slow down the egg's expansion. Dream. He recognizes the voice. His hand flies to the borders of the hoodie, grabbing them until his knuckles go white. He shifts his stance so he can look back, ready to run. There's a tired face. There, a tired face welcomes him with a smile. Carl? It is him. Not his Carl he can recognize, because his Carl had both arms when they were performing the travel in the in-between, but it's a Carl nonetheless. He can feel his eyes water under the mask. Carl, as you can see, I'm a Carl from a little further into the timeline you came from. The brown-haired nods as at his own lack of right arm. But yeah, it, it is me. Dream gives a small step towards him. What? What happened? What is the future like? Carl's smile disappears and slowly comes back. It's terrible, but some things are already better. Things are changing quickly. Not enough for the timeline to be fixed, but enough that things are already changed. Like, he asked. Wilbur is still alive in this one. Corrupted, angry, and a complete deranged murderer, but he is alive. Puffy survived the explosion, although, well, anyways, Dream frowns. He relaxes now that he's sure he's in front of someone he can trust, so almost nothing. Carl shakes his head in a no. You think like that because you're thinking like this is the big thing about the whole timeline, but you're wrong, Dream. Small changes like that create big changes like this. Carl appears a book out of apparent thin air. The name is titled. The name in the title is Tales of the Dream Dsmp, the city of Mizu. He hints at the dream, who knows perfectly the story that should be written within the pages of the book, except it changes. It doesn't end in murder, but understanding and forgiveness and change. My memories are already getting altered with the change of history. Dream, if you keep this up, we might be able to save the whole timeline, Carl says excitedly. Dream nods. That sounds good. That does sound good. And Ranbu? The question brings silence. The surroundings suddenly start to close up with tension. They haven't found him. He's safe, but Dream knows what goes after that but Carl still finishes the sentence. I don't think he is waking up. Not in that future dream. Once again, he nods, only this time it feels more like a programmed answer to the sudden revelation Carl throws at him. Carl smiles. You're doing great. It has only been a few hours, Dream. I believe in you. I know you can fix this. Dream doesn't. He messed everything up last time, so how could he fix everything he ruined and more? He still smiles because he owes at least that much to his friend. I have to go, Carl says, looking at the clock in his hand that was spinning wildly. Staying here will probably mess up the timeline. Oh, and Dream? Yeah? Carl extends his hand to him. He blinks, extending his too, and Carl drops something on his palm. It's a necklace, a really pretty one that has Carl's spiral as the pendant. It's pretty. This will Protect both you and your memories from time breaks. From what? Oh, oh. Carl's face streams of color in seconds. Please tell me I did tell you about time breaks. I don't think you did. The contrary face palms as a portal appears behind him. This isn't good. Oh no. Oh, Carl, what's. Listen, Dream. Time breaks are dangerous. I really have to go, but as soon as energy recharges, I should come back to see you. It might not be me, but one me will come, and you have to ask them about time breaks. It's important. No, it's imperative that you do. But then why don't you just tell me? Carl opens his mouth to speak, but it's late. A portal sucks him like a swirl, and then he's gone. Lights and everything go with him. It's almost night when he reaches the community house. Honestly, he does choke up when he sees it. He knows someone rebuilt it while he was in prison, but he also knows it was blown up once again during the neutral zone takeover. After he made his personal mission to make everyone hate him, the only time he saw the building complete was just before destroying it himself. But there it is, standing tall, almost new, both the creation and inhabitants oblivious to the future it will have. It had, it won't have. Does it matter at this point? Time travel is weird. He gulps as he stands over the bridge. His breath hitches as he stands in front of the door. His mind stops working when the door opens in front of him, and he can't remember opening it himself. Everyone inside stops what they're doing and look at him. Everyone, of course, is just Sapnap and George. Oh, hey, Dream, you're back. Well, he didn't have anywhere else to go, so. I mean, technically, this is our house. You can always come here. George frowned. Oh, he said that out loud. I know. I was just. I have some stuff to think about and some things. We know, Dream. You said that like 9 times already. Sapnap grumbled, rolling his eyes. Yeah, you okay, Dream? You've been acting weird. And, it makes sense if it had been from the moment you came back, but you had a sudden change during our talk with Wilbur. Did something happen? Yeah, the whole future. He blinks. He didn't say that out loud. That was good. No, I'm just worried. I found something while I was outside the land and I have to go back soon. So you suddenly remembered something and looked and panicked? Something like that? He sighs, walking to a chair and sitting there. Look, it's not important enough you have to worry about that. I promise. If you say so, he winces as his two companions return back to what they were doing before he entered the place. He looks around. It feels weird, really weird, almost like a dream or maybe even a nightmare. His heart twitches painfully as he remembers the last day this building stood on his timeline, as he remembers filling everything with TNT, and as he remembers standing far away from the sound of the explosions and the heat of the fire made a terrifying symphony behind him. He remembers what could have been if he had just let the place be. He wonders if Sapnap would have forgiven him after all. He looks at Sapnap's back while the raven-haired teen hits a punching bag with excitement. He hopes Sapnap wouldn't have forgiven him because he doesn't deserve it.